Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by again today. You know, there's a secret to a good life in the Philippines and anywhere else, and I just want to tell you that today. Talk about that secret, share it with you today. You know, Muhammad Ali, the great Muhammad Ali, is actually from my same hometown. He said that service to others is the rent that you pay for your place here on earth. You know, and I believe him. Everything that I've accumulated today, material, spiritual, or otherwise, has come from me helping other people, giving back. This isn't something that's foreign to my audience, because I always talk about it. But very few people practice it, and that's just why we struggle. I want to share with you another story from my life that represents this spirit of giving and how that giving is like a boomerang, really. It has a boomerang effect. It turns in its flight and comes back and rewards you. You know, if you watch my video yesterday, I talk about the homeless shelter that I stayed in 1998. About a year after I got sober and my life was going back to normal. Sorry. We took a trip. My wife at the time was from a little place called Elkmont, Alabama, right outside Athens, Alabama, maybe, I'm going to say 45 minutes from, about an hour from Birmingham. A little bit more than that. Well, anyway, we were coming back because every summer we'd go there for vacation. And we came back and we had a lot of clutter, clothes and different things. We're going through the closet and I got 3 pair of shoes. They were brand new. I just never wore them. So I said, well, hell, I know what to do with these. I'm going to take them down here to the homeless shelter. Maybe somebody could use them. And I just remember walking into the cafeteria. It was early in the morning. And 3 guys were walking out. They had on their scrubs. That means they were in detox. They were detoxing. And I just remember them all wearing the same size I did. Size 9.5 at that time. For some reason, my feet has grown. I wear a 10 now. But at that time, I wore 9.5. And I was so excited about it. I thought that was the end of the story, right? And I remember going home telling my wife, I said, you're not going to believe this. I said, but those shoes that I gave away, the first 3 people I saw, they wore the same pair as I did. And I forgot about it. So about a year later, I'm attending one of those meetings at the homeless shelter. And there's a guy up there and he's telling his story. If anybody's ever been to one of those meetings, you know, people get up there and they tell their story. You know, what it used to be like, what happened, what it's like today. Well, he got to the point where he was talking about coming to the homeless shelter. He said that he had been there for a couple of nights. He'd already had a sponsor, but he was ready to leave. He said, you know, he didn't think it was going to work for him. So the sponsor said, hey, look, you don't have nothing else to lose. He said, tonight when you go to bed, I want you to get down on your knees and ask God to send you a sign. Should you stay here at this homeless shelter and let the people help you, or should you go back out there and do whatever it is you were doing out there, you know, to the bitter end is what we call it. So the guy said, hey, I didn't even believe in God at the time, he said. He certainly wasn't working in his life, he said. So I said, okay, I ain't got nothing to lose. So I just got on my knees. Half-heartedly, he said this. He said, God send me a sign. He said he got up and went to bed. He said he woke up, went to breakfast. He said when he was leaving breakfast, a guy shows up with 3 pairs of shoes and handed him a pair. And he said this is when his whole life changed. He said because how did the guy know that a pair of shoes was what he needed the most in his life? He said, I'd had my shoes on for 60 consecutive days. He said, I had them on so long that when I finally took them off, the ink from the dye in the shoes turned my feet black. He said, those shoes were a sign from God for me to get my life together. That's a powerful story, man, you know, and I left that meeting knowing it was me, but I never told this guy. A little bit later, he became my neighbor. We became good friends, and one Christmas Eve, I told him, I said, man, you know, that was me that gave you those shoes. And he said, well, why didn't you tell me? I said, well, you know, I didn't want to take away from the miracle, man. You know, and that was 24 years ago, guys. Guy shows up at that place. Didn't even have a pair of shoes, certainly nowhere to live. Today, he's very, very successful. He has several homes. Yeah, several homes. He lives in, where's he live? Taylorsville, Kentucky. He has a beautiful home right on the lake. His home is about $300,000, $350,000. But he's got several homes that he rents out. He's a general manager for the company that he works at. But he's very humble because if you asked him, he says he owes it all to those pair of shoes. He said that was the sign from God for him to turn his life around. That was 24 years ago. In July, it'll be 24 years. And I want to share these stories with you because these are true stories. Maybe it can encourage somebody else to get out of themselves and help somebody today. Because if you're able to help somebody, man, you're very, very fortunate. Not only is the universe going to reward you, but you're going to reward yourself. I've got so many stories like that over the last 25 years, you wouldn't believe it. Because I learned a long time ago the power of giving back, the power of helping people. When you help other people, you help yourself. That's just another one of the stories. Imagine this guy had nothing. So he said, hey, what I got to lose? He got on his knees and said, God, send me a sign. The guy shows up the next day with a pair of shoes. The thing that he needed the most in his life. Imagine that, guys. So wherever you're watching me from, there's always somebody less fortunate. Help them if you can. I'm here on CTishay Island. It's early in the morning on a Wednesday morning here in the Philippines. This is my secret to a good life over here. I give back every day. I mean, it's the only way I can explain it. You know, how I could go from basically being homeless to now living a life on an island, basically deserted really on this side. No one's here. Fresh air, fresh seafood anytime I want. So that's how I pay the rent to stay here. I reach out and help other people. I intentionally do it. It feels good to me. It makes me feel good. So I'm just going to ask you to try it. You know, there's not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Service to others is the rent you pay for your time here on earth or your place here on earth. That's Muhammad Ali said it. No truer words were spoken. If you want to improve your life today, start helping other people, start giving back. If not, good luck.